Thompson M1921/M1928. If guns had celebrities, the Thompson would be Brando. The original M1921, designed by General John T. Thompson, arrived in the Prohibition era like it owned the street. Chambered in .45 ACP, it fires a round that hits like a freight train at close range. The drum magazine, holding 50 or 100 rounds, made it visually unmistakable. Its receiver is machined steel, heavy, precise, almost arrogant in its craftsmanship. Gangsters loved it. The military adapted it. The M1928 variant added a cuts compensator to tame the muzzle rise. In World War II, Allied soldiers carried it through European hedgerows and Pacific jungles. Today, a genuine original Thompson M1921 commands anywhere from $25,000 to $45,000, if you can find one. You've seen this gun everywhere. The Untouchables, Road to Perdition, Boardwalk Empire. Every time Al Capone-era crime gets romanticized on screen, the Tommy gun is in frame. War has a way of stripping luxury from everything, including guns. The M1 Thompson was the wartime simplification of the original. Gone was the drum, replaced by a 20 or 30-round box magazine. Gone was the cuts compensator. Gone was the elaborate machining. What remained was the soul, 45 ACP, semi or full automatic, brutal at close range. The M3A1 took it further, eliminating the semi-auto option entirely, because in combat, nobody wants choices. Used extensively through World War II, Korea, and beyond, this version became the workhorse. On the collector market today, transferable examples run $20,000 to $35,000. On screen, the M1 appears in Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers in the Pacific. Directors use it specifically because it reads as WWII, its visual shorthand for the greatest generation.
It looks like a plumber's nightmare. It doesn't care. The M3 was the military's answer to a single question. Can we make something cheaper, faster, and easier to produce than the Thompson? Yes. Stamped steel construction, almost entirely pressed and welded, made it manufacturable at industrial speed. Chambered in .45 ACP, the M3 had a wire stock, a slow cyclic rate that actually helped accuracy on full auto, and a design so utilitarian it earned its nickname immediately, the Grease Gun. The M3A1 refined it further by eliminating the charging handle. You simply retracted the bolt with your finger. Used from WWII through the Gulf War, it served longer than almost any American SMG in history. Military surplus examples today hover around $10,000 to $15,000 on the transferable market. You'll catch the Grease Gun in Fury, various WWII films, and video game cinematics. It's the weapon Hollywood reaches for when it wants to show unglamorous, ground-level warfare.
Reising M50/M55. The Reising was supposed to be the Thompson's equal, semi and full auto, .45 ACP, lightweight aluminum receiver, a cleaner, more refined feel. Marines carried it to Guadalcanal. That's where the story turns dark. In the mud and sand and humidity of the Pacific, the Reising jammed, constantly. It was a precision instrument dropped into an imprecise hell. The M55 was a folding stock variant designed for paratroopers. Both variants were pulled from frontline service as quickly as they were issued. Today, a transferable Reising runs $6,000 to $12,000, a bargain perhaps for a weapon with a complicated legacy. It's rare on screen, which is historically appropriate. When it does appear in World War II dramas, it's usually in the hands of characters who are about to have a very bad day.
M42. The United Defense M42, chambered in 9mm, was purpose-built for the Office of Strategic Services, the wartime forerunner of the CIA. It was designed to be dropped behind enemy lines, handed to resistance fighters across Nazi-occupied Europe. Beautifully machined, reliable, compact. It was a spy's weapon before spy weapons were glamorous. Today, genuine examples are extraordinarily rare. Transferable pieces can reach $15,000 to $25,000 or more at auction. On screen, the UD M42 surfaces occasionally in World War II espionage thrillers. Its story is the kind Hollywood should tell more often. A weapon born in shadows, carried by people whose names history never recorded.
S&W M76. The Smith & Wesson M76 was America's answer to a supply problem. When Swedish K submachine guns became unavailable due to Sweden's neutrality stance, the U.S. military needed a 9mm alternative fast. S&W reverse-engineered the Swedish K and produced the M76, a stamped steel, blowback-operated 9mm SMG with a folding stock. Navy SEALs used it in Vietnam's river systems. It's a weapon defined by its context: cold water, jungle heat, covert insertion. Today, transferable M76s fetch between $8,000 and $14,000. On screen, it appears in Vietnam War films and most famously, Clear and Present Danger, where it lends authentic period weight to the action.
MAC-10. Designed by Gordon Ingram in 1964, the MAC-10 is violence distilled into the smallest possible metal frame. Chambered in .45 ACP, or 9mm, its cyclic rate is almost comically fast, over 1,000 rounds per minute. It empties a 30-round magazine in under 2 seconds. It was never meant to be a precision instrument. It was meant to be overwhelming. Military and special operations units used it. Drug cartels adopted it. Hollywood loved it. Today, a registered MAC-10 runs $1,500 to $3,500, one of the more accessible Class 3 weapons. On screen, it's everywhere. Scarface, Predator, John Wick. It's the chaos weapon. The weapon characters pull when a situation has already gone completely sideways.
MAC-11, Cobra M11-9. The MAC-10's smaller, faster sibling, chambered in .380 ACP or 9mm, even lighter, even more chaotic. The Cobra M11-9 is the civilian-era descendant, semi-auto only but visually identical. Its cyclic rate in full auto exceeds 1,200 rounds per minute. Functionally, it's a handful. Symbolically, it became the weapon of 1980s crime cinema. You'll find it in Terminator 2, various action films of the era, always in the hands of someone who doesn't plan to negotiate. Transferable MAC-11s today run $1,200 to $2,500.
American 180. This one is genuinely strange. The American 180 fires .22 LR, a caliber most people associate with squirrels, not soldiers. But it feeds from a 177-round pan magazine and cycles at over 1,200 rounds per minute. The theory? That volume of small caliber rounds creates hydrostatic shock equivalent to larger calibers. Law enforcement tested it. The Utah Department of Corrections reportedly issued it. It never went mainstream, but it earned cult status. Today, transferable examples sit around $3,000 to $6,000. It appears in niche action films and documentaries, always the footnote weapon that makes viewers do a double take.
Calico M960. The Calico M960 looks like it fell out of a RoboCop prop room. Its helical magazine sits horizontally on top of the receiver, holding 50 or 100 rounds of 9mm. It's futuristic in appearance, genuinely innovative in design, and was ahead of its time in terms of capacity. Law enforcement tested it. The results were mixed. It never achieved widespread adoption, but it became a visual icon of the late 80s and early 90s. In RoboCop 2, it's unmistakable. On today's market, semi-auto civilian variants run $400 to $700. The transferable full-auto M960 is far rarer and commands a significant premium.
Colt 9mm SMG. This last entry carries the weight of institutional credibility. Built on the AR-15 lower receiver platform, the Colt 9mm SMG takes 9mm ammunition through modified Uzi magazines, giving it the ergonomics of America's most trusted rifle pattern in a compact, lower recoil format. The FBI, HRT, various law enforcement tactical units, and military special operations all used it. It bridged the gap between pistol-caliber SMGs and rifle-based systems that eventually replaced them. Today, transferable examples sit around $4,000 to $8,000. On screen, it appears in law enforcement dramas and tactical thrillers, specifically because it looks like what serious professional operators carry.
11 weapons, 11 chapters in the story of American close-quarters firepower. Each one shaped a moment in war, in crime, on screen. If this breakdown hit different for you, hit that like button. And subscribe to Movies, Guns, TV shows, because there are hundreds more weapons, hundreds more scenes, and we're just getting started.